Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. Magandang umaga sa inyong lahat at maayong puntag sa inyong tanan. My name is Raffy El-Hawi. I'm Palestinian from Gaza Strip. I arrived to the Philippines on September 1986, and in October 1988, I became the first Palestinian to be recognized under the UNHCR in the country. Until the year 1998, we were refugees under the UNHCR, receiving monthly subsistence allowance, life care medical insurance, small business capital, allowed to work but must secure work permit, allowed to study but must secure student visa, allowed to own 40% of the business, same like all other foreigners. In the year 1998, the UNHCR turned over the responsibility of the refugees, asylum seekers, and stateless persons to the Philippine government. With the advocacies of the UNHCR Philippines and the Community and Family Services International, CFSI, the implementing partner of UNHCR in the Philippines, and the magnanimity of the Philippine government and the great Filipino people, the situation of the refugees have totally changed and improved. And I was honored to join some of the meetings in these advocacies. The refugees now can enjoy indefinite stay in the country under 47B visa, work without work permit, study without student visa, own business 100% ownership, have freedom of movement within the country. We also have Philippine travel document valid for 5 years. We can travel anywhere in the world provided that we have valid visa for travel. Refugees now have PhilHealth medical insurance, which is exclusive only for Filipino citizens. And lately, refugees who graduated from Filipino colleges and universities with courses that require board exams are now allowed to take the PRC board exam to have license to practice their professions. And we have one example, Somalian refugee doctor who passed the board exam for medicine and now practicing in private hospital. Until the year 2017, refugees were allowed to work in the overseas recruitment agencies, but are required to secure permit from the Philippine Overseas Employment Administration, or POEA. On the year 2017, the Philippine government banned all foreign nationals, including refugees, from working in the overseas recruitment industry because this is nationalized business. Among the obstacles that the refugees and asylum seekers in the Philippines are encountering are: number one, since the Philippine government has banned the foreign nationals from working in the overseas recruitment industry, many refugees who were working there have become either unemployed or continued to work there illegally. And when caught, they either face imprisonment or extortion by the law enforcement agencies and government authorities. And we have many cases among the Arab refugees regarding that. Number two, although the refugees are allowed to work without requiring work permit, Many cannot find work just like Filipinos do. Many refuse to work with a low-paying job, which according to them cannot sustain their basic needs. Refugees are allowed to study, but yet many of them cannot afford to pay for the schools and colleges tuition fees. Likewise, the refugees are allowed to own 100% business ownership, and some own restaurants, travel agencies, and food online businesses, while also many don't have capital to start a small business in the first place. Number 3, asylum seekers in the Philippines, unless they have valid student visa or work visa, are not allowed to study, and they cannot have regular work. This is because they are allowed to have temporary work permit valid for 6 months only and can be renewed once for another 6 months. Most companies don't want to hire employees with this kind of time validity because of the need to train them for a few months. Unfortunately, we have so many asylum seekers that have been waiting for several years without being accepted or even denied. And many of them were not even interviewed until now. Among the refugees and asylum seekers, there are senior citizens, persons with disability, and single parents with minors that cannot work. They don't have support for their daily lives. Some of them are homeless. These are public charges of the community. As a way of helping the Arab community in the Philippines, including the Arab refugees and asylum seekers, in the year 2017, I created a WhatsApp group called Lil Musaadat, or for aid. This group was created to provide a platform for the Arab community to learn and help each other. I translated the Bill of Rights, all types of visas, the 9 waves of refugees in the Philippines, and all important news concerning the foreigners in general and the refugees in particular. All were translated to Arabic language and posted several times in the WhatsApp group. We are still maintaining this WhatsApp group until today, and the dissemination of information for what's happening in the country. The group is also used for helping Arabs in emergency cases such as hospital bills, accumulated house rentals, school tuition fees, return tickets to the country of origin for some Arabs who are not refugees, and many more. We do the concept of bayanihan. We post the problem in the group and specify the needed amount and ask those who can afford to donate to help in solving the problem. Then the collected amount goes directly to the purpose, like for example, direct to the hospital or to the school or to the airline ticket, etc. On 27 of July 2018, I, together with a retired Lebanese banker, one of my friends, and a retired Filipino lawyer from the Department of Justice, a Filipino Muslim doctor of medicine, and my one and only Filipino wife, have founded the Philippine Arab Cooperation Council, Inc., or PACSI, as a refugee-led humanitarian and charitable association for helping all needy Arabs, including refugees, asylum seekers, orphans, widows, as well as needy non-refugees. Later on, we added another Filipino Muslim who is working recently as the presidential advisor to the Philippine president, presidential advisor for OFW and Muslim concerns as our chairman emeritus. Then we added a Syrian refugee businessman as the vice president. Our vision is to see all the Arabs in the Philippines, including refugees and asylum seekers. Our mission is to see them all financially independent and established. Our mission is to help all the needy, vulnerable, and indigent Arabs in the country establish their own income-generating activities for either business or employment. During the pandemic, we encouraged everyone to think of how he can help himself and help the others in the community. Some started cooking food, baking bread and sweets, and selling it online, while others were selling face masks, face shield, alcohol, or vitamins online. For those who own motorcycles or cars, they were making delivery services, and car for hire services. All products and services were advertised in our Del Musaadat WhatsApp group. We also communicated with the Department of Justice, RSPPU, and appealed to them to provide some financial assistance to the refugees and asylum seekers. The result was positive, and many of the persons of concerns received 3,000 pesos each, while others were referred to the regional office of the DSWD for bigger financial aid. We communicated with some NGOs, and luckily, one of them have donated to us 50 food kits, while the second one donated 100 food kits during the pandemic, which was distributed to all the needy ones. Recently, PACSI have submitted a project proposal to Voice Philippines for empowerment of the refugee youth and women in the country. The general objectives is to provide self-reliance and local integration by improving their skills, self-esteem, and social connections to increase their chances of getting employment and have regular income. The project was approved after we provided Voice Philippines with a host organization for financial management of the project, considering that this is our first ever big project for the refugees. And this project will include the non-Arab refugees as well. In the project, we will provide computer literacy training, English language courses, Filipino language courses, TESDA training courses, pre-employment preparation seminars, board exam awareness seminar, refugee leadership training, and many more. We will also communicate with companies and prospective employers to scout for employment opportunities for the refugees. We are expected to start our project hopefully next month. And finally, with much gratitude and respect to the Philippine government, the great Filipino people, UNHCR Philippines, CHR Philippines, as well as the Community and Family Services International, or CFSI, for all their unwavering support and assistance to the cause of the refugees and asylum seekers in the country. I would like also to thank all of them for standing beside the Philippine Arab Cooperation Council, Inc., or PACC, in our journey to be a humanitarian arm. I would like to thank Voice Philippines for approving our first milestone project for the empowerment of refugee youth and women. And to the honorable members of the Philippine Congress and the Philippine representatives of the Philippine government agencies, the refugees and asylum seekers need to have a comprehensive law to guide, help, and protect them. We appeal to your collective wisdom, knowledge, experience, and humanitarian heart to consider this matter seriously. And to Ateneo Human Rights Center and to the UNHCR Philippines, thank you very much for inviting me to be one of the resource speakers and for your interest in the refugee concerns. God bless you all. Mabuhay ang Pilipinas. Thank you very much. And if you have any question, I'll be happy to answer it. Thank you.